ladies, welcome back to the Aunt Angie channel. Today we're going to talk about dogs and running. Now, ever since the first day that I started running, which was I think a year and a half ago, Rain, my Rottweiler, has been running with me. And one of the motivations to get me to start running was because at the time she was about a year and a half old. And any of you that have ever had a puppy, especially a large breed puppy, knows that they have a lot of energy. And so I wanted to be able to give her an outlet for that energy and to be able to spend time with her and whatnot. So she's ran with me. I can't honestly think of a time when she didn't. I mean, I did a couple runs when I was on vacation. So obviously she wasn't with me then. Otherwise, every single day she has been with me the whole process. So I just want to give you a heads up on what I've learned. Take it or leave it. I'm not a dog trainer. I'm not a dog expert. I probably know more about dogs than the average person because I have an animal science degree and I teach these things for a living. But again, it's not expert advice. It's just what works for me. And really, ladies, that's what I want you to take from this channel is nobody's advice is going to be perfect. So take the little nuggets that apply to you and apply it to your life. All right, so let's get started. So let's talk about collars. So there's your typical collar, which actually Rain is in here because I have all of her things in here, and she's not leaving them. Rain, sit up. So here's her regular just collar, and it's got her ID tag and her rabies tag on it. Now she is chipped. Put that back. She does have a chip on her, but I keep her regular collar on her because if something were to happen when we were out running, I wouldn't want someone to not be able to find me immediately. So I always like to keep her collar on her. Like I said, even though she is chipped. So that's a collar that she always has on her. Now, this is the collar that I typically run with her. Now, she's a big girl and she's got a very thick neck on her just naturally. She's not overweight. Even though if you don't know anything about the Rottweiler breed, they're very stocky, sturdy dogs. So she's in excellent shape for her breed, but she still needs to have a solid collar on her. These little prongs are dull. You can actually put a rubber peg on them, but I took those off. They weren't necessary. This does not hurt her. It doesn't hurt her. It just reminds her. So it clips together. I like that because it's a quick release for me. And then I also like the fact that it has two rings, the 2D rings for the leash to get hooked through. So what this does is if she starts pulling too much, it just gives a little reminder that that's not okay. Okay. And so this keeps her a little bit more in check in terms of running than would say her regular cloth collar. I also have attached to it a light. So this light, I just got this off of Amazon. There's 3 different settings. So when we're running early in the morning, I can set this and it will blink and people can see her. So this is the collar that I use most days when we're going to go out for a run. This collar I never use with her. This is a standard choke collar. And the reason that I never use this when we go on a run is because I don't run with her in a heel. And the reason that I don't run with her in a heel is because I don't always want her right next to me. I like to give her a little bit of free range to run out a little bit ahead of me. It just makes it easier for me to run, not having her right next to me. So if there's something in the road that I have to sidestep, I don't want to have to stop, lose my momentum. So it's just kind of easier for me to let her be out in front. But when this collar goes on her, she knows that this is business. And she's kind of freaking out at my feet right now because she sees this. She knows that this is a training collar. So I keep the 2 collars separate. Some people use this for a training collar and I don't. If we're going to work on obedience, this is the collar that we're working on. So I keep the 2 separate. And I haven't done it, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to keep your leashes separate too, so that she knows when she puts this on that she has to have all of her attention needs to be on me, and we're training. Okay. When she has this on, we're going for a run and we're going to have fun, and she's going to be able to, you know, kind of have a little bit more free reign of where she's going. So those are collars, and that's just kind of the consistent rule that I keep with her. So then let's talk about leashes. Most leashes are going to be just fine. I'll tell you what I prefer and what I really dislike. So this, if you're going to run, this was actually for my brother's other dog, who he's just cute fat jet. And he doesn't do obedience, and he really just sleeps on the couch, but he goes for walks. And we haven't actually used this in a long time because I really dislike these, like a lot. Maybe I'm just not coordinated enough, but you don't have any control with this kind of a leash. So Rain has never been on this leash, and I would never run with this. Okay, there's just no control. You have no idea what's going on. So I really dislike those in general. I dislike them, but especially for running. I had currently this is what we're using, is a leather leash. This one is actually a little bit thinner than I probably would like it, but it's working out okay for me. This leather leash, it has a little bit of give in it. So when you pull it, you can actually feel it stretch a little bit. And for running, I actually am learning that I like that a little bit more. Her old leash that she had, it was just a regular leather, and there wasn't a lot of give in it. It was older, and so the leather was worked, and so it didn't hurt my hands or anything, but it didn't give. So this I actually like for running. I don't know how much I would like it if I was doing a lot of consistent training with her at a higher level. Here's what I don't like, and I'm trying to get after her, but she holds this in her mouth. So this is attached to her collar, and then she picks this up and holds it in her mouth. And she knows if I tell her to drop it, she'll drop it. She's an obedient girl, but she just gets super excited, and you can see that she is working over this leather. So this is going to snap one of these days. When you're out running, you need to make sure that you have bags with you. Okay. So this just attaches to whatever you want it to, has, the cap comes off. You can insert, I buy mine in a big pack, and then you always have bags with you. So this is really convenient to have these when you're running. I like to have the bag, these plastic ones, if that's what I'm using, I want it down by them, and then it's swinging along with them, and it's not bothering me up here, which is the other place that you could attach it, is up here at the top. Otherwise, when I'm running, it's swinging and hitting me, and it's distracting me. So please make sure that you have bags, and please make sure that you're picking up after your dog. Even if you have to run down the road holding a bag of dog poop, like that's just what you have to do. And I really wish my city had more receptacles out there, but they don't. And that's one thing that frustrates me. So then we come to the carrying pack. Now this is really handy. These packs are very handy. So this goes over, so her head comes through here. This sits on her chest, and then she's got bags here. So people will get these for if they're hiking up in the woods or whatnot. So this is a good pack. It's got pockets on both sides, nothing special. This is the Pet Tail brand. I'm sure I just got it off online. And what I like about it is that I can keep bags if I don't want to carry her bag that has poop in it and we aren't anywhere close to a trash can. I can double bag it and stick it in here, and she can carry it, and it doesn't bother her because she doesn't smell it behind her. At least she doesn't act like she does. It's got the pressure points, spots, and it just works really well. I can throw a bottle of water in there if we're going on a longer run. Whatever, if I have a cold, I can throw Kleenexes in there, whatever it is that I need, and then she can carry it. The other thing too is, especially like right now, where I'm trying to get my momentum back up and get my distances longer from some setbacks, where I put in 2 bottles of water. And that's plenty of extra weight. Okay, so moving on, we're going to talk about cooling vests. Now this was a great investment. It wasn't super expensive, maybe $30. And this cooling vest, it zips over the back. So her head sits out here, and then it zips over the back and her feet go in through the footholds. It's filthy. And because we use it a lot in the summertime. And what it does is I get this wet. So I have a couple of options. I can fill up a container. Sometimes I've done it in the bathtub, but that makes a mess in the house. But fill up a container, or I can take her outside with the vest on and put a hose down her back and then hose down the vest as well. I always make sure that I check her numerous times when we're out on a run. The vest is going to dry a little bit, but if you stick your hand down there, you can usually tell that it's a lot cooler. The other thing that we'll do is people water their lawns here at night. And so she knows where the puddles are. And so we'll stop and I'll let her lay down in the puddle. And it cools her off, it cools her belly off. And then it also gets that jacket wet again. So we'll do that. The other thing that I would tell you to do is leave the cute little bowls and everything at home and teach your dog to drink out of a bottle. So whether it's a bottle with a spout on it or just a regular open bottle, but she's really good. She'll come and sit right in front of me. I'll open up the bottle of water, pour it real slow. She gets her drink and then she walks away when she's done. And it works really well, and I don't have to carry any extra gear or worry about the fact that she's not going to be able to get water. So she's already figured that out. So I would definitely tell you, just leave those extra gadgets. They're not important. Teach her how to drink out of a water bottle. The other thing that's super important and you need to remember is that you have to set the tone or the pace or make the adult decision. You've got to decide it's too hot. We've got to go back. You're not doing well. We're going to have to walk. I haven't had to do that with her, but then I've started from ground zero. And so her endurance is better than mine is. But I also don't run her in the heat. So you've got to be really careful because these dogs will just keep going. They won't stop. Any of you that are familiar with bird dogs or retrievers, you know that they just keep going and going and going. So if the dog is out there and they're having a good time and they enjoy spending time with you and life is great, but they're literally dying because they're so exhausted from the heat, you can kill your dog. So just be super careful. You can cause, if you don't kill them, you can cause permanent damage. Make sure that you are taking the animal into consideration and not just your desire to go out and enjoy the weather. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments or any other things that you do that make life easier running with a dog, let me know. Thanks. Bye.